My name is Jonathan Goforth, and I've been a realtor for 23 years. I have personally sold hundreds of houses, hundreds upon hundreds of houses I have personally sold. But I want to take it back to the beginning, where you're at now. How to become a real estate agent. Now, you're probably going to join NAR once you're licensed and with your broker, and that makes you a realtor. But you have to join NAR, the National Association of Realtors, to get that realtor designation. But you're always going to be a real estate agent, so let's talk about how you become one. The big one that's going to feel overwhelming at first is passing the test. Going to real estate school, taking the classes, and then becoming licensed. So number one is figuring out where you go. Where's the real estate school at? What are the hours of the classes, and when does the next session begin? Get that figured out. They will help you do everything else here. After you get through your classes, you're going to go take the real estate exam, the test. You're going to pass that. Your state probably maybe requires you get fingerprints. They will help you do that, where you go, what that costs. And then after you've done that, you mail it to the state. You mail your copy that you've passed the exam with your fingerprints, mail that off to the Realtor Association at your state. They send you back your license. Now you're legal, you're ready to go. What you need to do is pick a broker. Most people, I think, what I did, I talked with a broker before I started. I actually talked with two of them. I talked with the two biggest at the time, and I interviewed with both. Now there were some misconceptions I had when I started. I'm going to talk about those in just a second. But that's how you become a real estate agent. Now, let's talk about all the excitement of what's about to happen next. I have to ask you a personal question now. Why are you doing this? Why do you want to get into real estate? What's your goal? What's the purpose that you're going to go take real estate classes and pass the test? What's your motivation? What's your goals in doing this? You've got to figure this out. Now, there's some different reasons that people get into real estate. I will share with you. I did it to make money. I've got other videos why I got into real estate. That's my personal story. You should check that out if you're interested. But not everyone gets into this just to make money. There are some people who just want to do this part-time. I wanted to make a career out of this and make money. I felt like a lot of the realtors that I saw out there made a lot of money. I felt like they all drove fancy cars. I've never seen so many Cadillacs in my life. And it seemed like most realtors don't work very hard. They put a sign in the yard, the house sells itself, they collect a check. That was my perception, and that's why I wanted in. It also seemed like everybody made a lot of money, and I didn't know how much. I had no clue how much they make, but there was the perception of it kind of seemed like a glamorous job, where they're making a lot of money and it doesn't seem very hard. That was one of my biggest motivators. Now, nobody seems to just aggressively go seek becoming a realtor. Have you noticed that? Who wants to just go become a real estate agent? You don't go to college to do it. People don't graduate from high school and instantly, this is my career choice. Sign me up now. We all seem to come from something else that failed. Something didn't go right in the rest of our lives. Like my previous job was in sales and the company I worked for was failing. It did go out of business eventually, but I bailed right before that. While I was still working there, other employees were bailing. They were finding other jobs. I didn't want another job. I wanted to be self-employed. I wanted unlimited potential of income. I wanted to set my own job hours and schedule, and if I wanted to go have lunch with a friend for 2 hours, I didn't want to hear complaining when I got back to work late. Or if I wanted to go work out during the day, which is the best time to go, don't go work out at 5:30. That's when everybody that has a job has to go work out. I wanted to go during the day when nobody else is there. I will tell you before I say anything else, real estate is the best profession there is. There are no careers better than this. None. There's nothing that comes close to this. If you want to be self-employed, your other options are probably buying a franchise or becoming a small business owner. But if you want to make lots of money, like a minimum of $100,000 a year, this is by far the best career choice possible. But most of us just kind of end up here as a last resort. So why are you doing this? Now, some people, they say, I just want to help people. And that sounds very noble, and we all do want to help people. That's what drives us continuously to keep helping more and more clients, is because, it's a great thing to do is to help people find their next home. But that's not your driving force. Your driving force is probably you need to make some money at this, especially when you realize you have some costs that just now started. Whether you sell anything or not, you're going to have MLS dues. You're going to have your Realtor Association board dues. That's at the end of every year. You're going to have fees for your e-key to open up lockboxes. You're going to have fees for the e-keys too. For the iBoxes, you're going to have fees for this and that. Your office could have some monthly fees, whether you sell anything or not. So I'm just going to tell you, you need to make money at this. So if money is your driving force, I'm your man, because that's why I got in. Now, maybe you just really enjoy houses. You love HGTV. You watch it all day. You can't get enough of it. And you want to do real estate because it looks like fun. Well, it is fun. It's a blast. It is so much fun. It's so enjoyable year after year after year. Have you noticed most agents don't really get burned out on this career because it is fun? So figure out why you're doing it. Now, some of you watching might have gotten in because you're into flipping houses, and the realtor you've been using doesn't seem to be working hard enough, mainly because you're buying cheaper properties and they're not so motivated because they're not making much commission. So you decided to get your real estate license. So you have access to MLS. You can pull up your own houses you want to look at. You sell it yourself. You fix it up. You're going to flip it yourself. Gives you control. Figure out why you're doing this, because now we're going to talk about what needs to take place to make this and your goals a success. So if you're liking my video, please click subscribe. It's right down here, and next to that is a notifications bell. And if you'll turn that on, you're going to get notified of my future videos so you don't miss anything that I put out there. Now, at the bottom of this video, in the description, down in the remarks of it, there is a video on how to create a name list. This is the very first thing you need to be doing. Now, if I were you, if you're not licensed yet, you need to be putting together your name list while you're in real estate school. And as soon as you're done, now you might be overwhelmed with that. If you've got a career already and you're doing real estate classes at night, then just get through that, pass the test, and get through that process so you can move on to the excitement of being a real estate agent. But you need a name list. Now, here's a question for you. How do you think you're going to sell houses? Because when I first got into real estate, which was 23 years ago, I didn't sell anything my first year. I was on track to be in the majority of all the different realtors out there who quit in their first 2 years. You need to know that the odds of you succeeding in your first 2 to 3 years are very low when you look at the total number of what's going on out there. But the few agents who make it, we make it big. We make it really big, and I want to show you what I did differently. So at the end of my first year in real estate, I'd sold nothing. Now I am working it to an extent. This was 23 years ago. My second year, I started taking this a whole lot more seriously because I thought it would be easy. I thought when I got in, everybody's going to want to use me. I mean, why would they not use me? So it was hard for me to grasp how hard this business really is. Now, there's two components to being in real estate. Component number one is the job itself, the nuts and bolts, how to fill out a contract, how to use MLS, how to go use the unlock the iBox. What do you do when you're on a listing appointment? How to fill out a contract when you're selling a house to a buyer, and all the different forms that are needed. That's all one big component of real estate. Your broker will teach you all that. You didn't really learn much of that in real estate school, but your broker is going to teach you how to use all that. There are some classes in your office, some of them taught by your broker, some of them taught by volunteer agents in your office. You need to take all of them quickly. Just, you got nothing else to do. Take every class you can possibly take. You also have classes at your MLS. Those are even more important. You should have probably, our MLS has 2 classes to kick it off. A basic MLS class to learn the system, and then a little bit more advanced MLS class. You need both of those. You could probably take both of those twice. All of these classes will be free for you after you join your local association. But you're going to have all that done probably within a week. So, in the meantime, you need to create a name list. I started doing this going into my second year. This is what turned my business around. This got so good. Now, over time, your name list, this database of names that you're about to create, will be the most expensive thing you're ever going to own in your life. It will generate your income. It's going to create your lifestyle. The income it generates will pay for your mortgage and your car payments. Your everything you need money for will eventually be generated by your name list. Now, your name list is going to be composed of a few different things. And if you go to the video below, I'm going to show you how you create it. So I'm not going to talk about that here. But once you get this done, what do you do with it? What is it that you do with this name list? Now, something you need to remember, you are self-employed. You're not selling houses. Houses sell themselves. You are marketing those houses to sell. But the houses are going to sell. You're taking a listing and you're putting a buyer together. That's what we do. We find a seller, we take a buyer, and we match them up through all the things that we do in real estate. But you as a business owner, your product is yourself. What you're selling is your name. It's your phone number. It's your image. It's your brand with your broker's logo. So that's what's going to set you apart and make you successful in real estate. This is how you become a real estate agent. Because if you're not going to sell anything, nobody knows you're a real estate agent. I'm going to tell you what the big secret is with real estate. The more people who know you sell houses, the more houses you're going to sell. That's it. The more people who know you sell houses, the more houses you're going to sell. So right now, probably nobody knows you're selling houses. That means you're not going to sell anything. Somehow you need to get your name out there to as many people you know as possible, especially people who know you. Now, people might know you through your parents or through your kids' friends' parents. There's a lot of people who are out there going to know you, even though you don't know them yet. Those are the names that go on your list. And so, watch the video below. Please click subscribe so you don't miss these future videos. Now, what are you going to do with this name list? You need to advertise yourself to it. That's what you're going to do. So when you say you wanted to get into real estate, this is what you're going to be doing. The job itself, you'll figure it out along the way. And in fact, my very first listing appointment, I took my broker with me. I didn't know what I was doing. You think I'm going to go into that environment by myself? I don't have the slightest clue how to sell a house. So my broker went with me and I got that listing thanks to her. And I did a lot of open houses and That's an awesome story. I need to put that one for a future video. Now, here's what I did with my name list. You need to advertise yourself to them. So think, you're gonna need some paper for this. How are you gonna do that? Hopefully you've already been thinking about this. Now, when I first got into real estate, I hope you weren't like me. I honestly thought, I'll join this office. It's a big office in where I live. And I bet everybody that wants to sell a house, they call that office and they hand out the leads to everybody. That's seriously how I thought it happened. I thought I just had to go sit there, the phone's gonna ring, and I get the people. I didn't realize there was board duty. I didn't realize you have to sign up for a time slot. Oh my gosh, this business was so much harder and different than I thought. So, now you should take board duty because you never know when a good call comes in. I've got a really good story about that. It has led to so many houses because of that one board call. But over time, your number one source of business will be from your name list. So because of the other video down below, you've already got it put together. Now, what do you do with it? You can send them mailings. I do this regularly. Mailings are so important. When you do mailings, you need to send them something that they're going to keep. And I'll show that on a future video. Something with your name, your phone number that they're going to hang up, like a magnet of maybe if you've got a professional football team in your area, do a magnet with that schedule. Same with baseball. People love those. If you don't have any professional teams in your city, then do a magnet of the high school teams, because that would be great. I don't know, maybe there's one high school, and print that schedule. Maybe there's 3 high schools in your area, in your school district. Do the schedule of all 3 for football and get those mailed out. You could do the same thing for basketball. Mailings. Now, what you also need, now for that you need a name with a home address. That's on the other video, how you get that. You also can send them emails. You can also text them if you have cell phone numbers. Now, a lot of these are also going to be on Facebook. So if they're on Facebook, then you can send them instant messages. IM for instant messages. These are all different ways that you can promote yourself. There are Facebook posts. I do this constantly. You need to be posted on Facebook about real estate on your personal page. Now, I've also got a business page. I'll discuss that on another video too. This is how you become a real estate agent. You need appointments. You need buyers and you need sellers, which are listings. You need that, and you need it quickly. The faster you get that, the more money you're going to start making, the more people you're going to be helping. That is how you become a real estate agent. Now, please click subscribe below and watch that video down there on how to create this name list, because you've got to have this quickly as soon as you're getting licensed. Thanks for watching.